Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new here, I am Psychic Bella Love, and you can book your own personal and private reading with me on my website, psychicbellalove.com. And to make things easier, since the economy has been, kind of all over the place, I did drop the prices on my website between $15 to $60. Depending on the appointment, no coupon needed. And you can join my Patreon if you did used to listen to me on Station Head, or you've enjoyed content that I have previously posted, such as my spiritual attack videos. That's the place where you can get all of that type of content. Obviously, because of, you gotta be careful what you say on the tube. We have to do it over there. All links will be in the description box below. And I got a lot of DMs and emails, even though I've asked you guys not to do that. I won't quit immediately. I'm just going to have to rework my schedule, and instead I won't post standalone videos quite as often. I will do lives hopefully once a week where we can go over all the gossipy, surfacey, hot topic stuff that's going on in the atmosphere. But obviously, because you have to be so careful these days about what you can and can't talk about on YouTube, and I constantly am getting in trouble for the most benign things, is why I no longer wanted to utilize this platform. But I don't want to abandon all of you either, so I will stream my lives on YouTube as well as Instagram. I don't know exactly when that will start, which is why I am posting standalone videos right now, because for those who were here, my son broke his leg very badly at the very end of 2021 and had to get surgery, and we've been doing all kinds of physical therapy and stuff, which has taken up so much time and cut into any of the time that I could, create content outside of my Patreon, really. And now he's at the tail end of that. Hopefully, we are done with that. We will find out at his follow-up with his surgeon actually on Friday. And he's, going back to school and all of that. So I got to see, how our schedule will be. But make sure you subscribe, and I will let y'all know on my community tab when things will be. So I'm sorry for freaking everybody out. It's just obviously, like I said in my previous videos, it's hard for me because I don't like doing half of a reading on YouTube and telling everybody to go watch the rest of it on Patreon, or having to censor myself. So I'm just gonna have to be very careful about the topics that we do over here. So bear with me. Of course, I'm also not on video right now because I've said before, part of it is energy protection, but also some of it's just, it takes a lot to go put on your makeup, do your hair, set up all your equipment, make sure that you're in a good space. So it is easier to do audio only most of the time. This video today is going to be about the Migos and whether or not, they're sticking together. I don't remember. I think I did a video before on them where I predicted that they would break up at some point. If I didn't in YouTube, then I said it in Patreon. Because again, if you are in my Patreon, I post, multiple times a day and every day. And if you aren't, then come join us. It's only $6 a month, and I do post multiple times a day, 6 days a week. I try to stay offline on Sundays to reset. So it is a good time over there. But I, keep seeing that it's like the Migos have broken up, and then people are like, oh no, they're not, or they themselves, kind of deny it. But then you keep seeing, like flyers being put up for appearances that they're doing, and it's only mentioning Quavo and Takeoff. So I wanted to see with Spirit, what was going on. And the first thing that Spirit was saying is, as much as like it would be easy for all of us to sit there and be like, oh my God, it's Cardi's fault, or any of the other people that, they may have dated in the past or are currently dating, this really doesn't have a whole lot to do with any of the women in their lives. There is a little touch of that, which we'll get into, but Spirit's saying that there's always been kind of more of like a tempestuous relationship between the three. Quavo and Takeoff have always been kind of more closer to one another, whereas Offset was just kind of, a part of everything, but he's not as close as the two of them are, is what Spirit is saying. I don't know a whole lot about them personally outside of just, they're a group and Quavo dated Saweetie and apparently was hooking up with Nicki at one point, and, all of the Offset cheating stuff with Cardi. But what Spirit is saying is there's always been more of a closeness between the two of them. And this isn't the first time, because Spirit's saying they've actually broken up quite a few times behind the scenes, where even though, sometimes it was Quavo and Takeoff being like, oh, well, Offset doesn't even want to be in the group anymore. Sometimes it was even Quavo or Takeoff, saying I'm done with this too. There's been like this coming down the pipeline, Spirit is saying, kind of ever since the beginning of the formation of the group in the first place. And over the years, it's only kind of gotten worse. Now, let's keep in mind, these are three guys with egos, money, access, resources, fame, and all of that. So that always can cause some issues, especially if everybody wasn't on the same page in the first place. And what Spirit is saying is, a big part of, well, the only part where Cardi plays into this is really that Offset, kind of saw him and Cardi as almost like, we're this new power couple in the music industry, especially in the rap game. And he kind of felt like, like if we can build that like relationship marriage type brand the same way that like Beyonce and Jay-Z have, or, other couples have, where they still do their own stuff, but then they do the group projects, and then it's like you make all these bags and create all these businesses and have all these opportunities based off of, me and my wife are both famous and people pay attention to us, so it's like a 2-for-1 deal when we come together kind of situation. And he got a little too big for his britches with that at times, as far as the way that Quavo and Takeoff were viewing things. And it has caused a lot of tension, but Spirit is saying, Cardi was not like the instigator of any of that. She actually kind of stays out of that because she doesn't want to be blamed for any of this. And she's always felt like y'all were like a group before I even met you. I'm going to stay out of that. That's between you guys. That's man stuff. That's, you guys are all brothers. You can figure that out. I'm just going to like sit in the corner and eat my food. So we will, because especially Spirit is saying, I don't know if you guys have heard that apparently Offset and Cardi have some sort of joint album that they're doing together that's going to come out at some point. We're going to see at the same time Takeoff and Quavo start doing a lot more both together and separately as their own solo things. I know we've seen them do some of that stuff in the past, but Spirit's saying they're going to go even harder with it. And I keep hearing that we're going to get a Quavo Takeoff album that's going to probably come out around the same time as the Cardi and Offset album, and that's going to cause some friction, because it's going to be a lot of, you know, the fan bases penning people against each other. Oh, Takeoff and Quavo's album's better. No, Cardi and Offset's is. Oh, look at, you know. And I do unfortunately feel them allowing all of those outside influences and opinions get to them. And that is going to cause a complete break of the group. At some point in the future, they'll come back together, do some sort of like reunion album, but Spirit is saying it's only going to reignite all the tension because they never solved that problem. And it's going to end up like, even though everybody is going to like it, because I do feel it being well received, there's this thing about they never end up going on tour to support it, or only like 1 or 2 music videos that are supposed to, you know, accompany the album actually end up getting like filmed or put out, because there becomes a lot of like infighting. And it's just, at this point, Spirit is saying the 3 of them together is like oil and water. They just can't get to the same page, and they just can't mix together. But on the other side, what Spirit is also saying is they need to grow as individuals away from each other in the music industry and in their own music, because it's gonna push them to be better artists outside of each other. There's too much comfortability when it's the 3 of them. And, oh, I can rely on Quavo because he's going to write the hook, and Takeoff's going to do this, or Offset's going to do that part. And so it's like when we have to separate, it makes us each stronger in our own craft, and we become better artists as a result of it. So I do feel a breakup is very imminent, a very short reunion, and then a complete break in the future. Also, Spirit is also saying, you know, Offset's gonna go through a little bit of a down period in his career. We're gonna see him much more in the fashion side of things, maybe even getting into acting. I feel Quavo especially, and then of course, you know, after that, Takeoff too, being more out there with music, and Offset kind of taking a break from that and going in different directions, which Spirit is saying, you know, that's why we do see him around Kanye a lot too, because he is trying to get more into the fashion design side of things, because he also is seeing that, I mean, let's be honest, nobody makes money in the music industry anymore anyways, unless you're the one that's writing and producing the songs, which is why, you know, Quavo is able to do so well, because look at his credits. He does write for a lot of people. Not that Offset hasn't, but Quavo does more. And so it is about, I got to diversify my income outside of this, and I want to build something different, because truth be told, there is a part of him that doesn't feel like he's going to be top dog in the music industry for too long. And he's not gonna like outright admit that to anybody, of course, but deep down inside there is an insecurity of, oh my god, you know, I may not be able to like make it in the music industry in the long run, so maybe I do need to like put my foot in the door in other spaces, so that way I always have something else to go to when something else is dried up. Very smart though. I mean, can't blame him, and I think it is ridiculous that artists are not able to really make money off of their music, but that's where we are at with things. So I will do, you know, a separate reading on Cardi's albums and whether or not her and Offset's record is going to be good, and, you know, how that'll all be and how their relationship looks. I just wanted to jump in and see real quick, are the Migos actually, you know, breaking up, or what's going on here? But like I said, we'll see something announced before probably the end of the year, if not the very beginning of the next year. And it's funny because Spirit said they're going to deny it a little bit just because they're trying to figure things out for themselves and make sure, are we really done with each other? It's kind of like, you know, when you break up with your boyfriend and you're like, are we going to get back together, or should I just go delete all your pictures off my Instagram? And you're sort of waiting to see, like, how the chips fall before you, like, really start being like, I'm single, and, you know, erasing all evidence that you were ever with that person. It's like the same thing, but then they'll figure out, like, we're not going to end up working this out. It's better to go our separate ways, and then we'll get some sort of announcement, or if not announcement, I keep feeling like it might be one of those situations where it's like Quavo's on Breakfast Club and they ask him about it and he's just like, oh, we're all taking a break, but like that's their way of saying like, we broke up. So anyways, guys, I love you all so much. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel so you can participate in lives. Like I said, I won't leave immediately. It's just frustrating when you put in all this work to do things and it gets deleted, or you get in trouble, or you can't post for a while. And so, you know, it's hard for us creators. I hope you guys understand that. But anyways, also, you know, if you want to book your own personal and private reading, or if you would like to join my Patreon or follow me on Instagram or my backup channel, then all that information will be linked in the description box below. And I hope everybody has an amazing day. Bye.